Hi besties, and we back. Today on this episode of Midnight Modules, we're gonna be talking about numbing. But before we get to that, how you doing, bestie? What you doing? How was your day? Are you looking forward to the holidays? I know I am. Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas. I'm all razzly-dazzly for it. I know, like, some of us don't celebrate it, but I'm a mom, and before I was a mom, I really didn't care for it, but now, like, I'm a mom, I get to do, like, the good stuff. Decorations, and trick-or-treating, and costume buying. It's so much fun. But how y'all feeling today? Drop in the comments and let me know, okay? Let's get to the topic. Okay, so as a person who used to numb a lot, and kind of still does a little bit, but not as much as I used to, because I'm still working on dealing with certain emotions and allowing them to go and flow through me. I think it's really important to be present and aware of what you got going on and why you're numbing and the things that you are doing to cope with that feeling or those feelings that cause you to numb. Like, for instance, some of us use substances to numb, or some of us just don't pay attention to the issues that we have going on, and we just disguise it and we put on this like happy face, or we put on this silly face, or we put on a facade of what we want everybody to believe that we are, because this is how we want to feel, or this is just how we want everybody else to feel, because sometimes we feel like no one's gonna care, no one can help, everybody's just gonna say the same thing, oh, it's gonna be okay. And a lot of that is true, but some of it is like, you have to be able to cope with yourself. You have to be able to deal with yourself, and not all the time does it have to be negative. A lot of the times it needs to be more positive, but because a lot of us in society have only seen negative or have gotten used to negative, or negative coping mechanisms are easily accessible, I think a lot of us numb negatively. And I don't just mean substance. Like, sometimes people run on the internet and like literally rant about their lives, their whole entire lives, and they cope and then they go viral, but sometimes it's not healthy. Sometimes they consistently do it, they don't have any boundaries of the things that they talk about with their lives, they put too much of their business and some of their friends and family businesses out there. And that's like, hey, cope however you want, no judgment, because people are getting rich off of it, and people feel like that's what they want to do, that's what they want to do. Like I said, do your thing, baby. But at the same time, sometimes it could be, it could have backlash. It can have backlash for you or your children, or some of the kids of your family members who just don't deserve to be outed like that. Or if you become famous, or if you become really rich and people pull this up, they're like, hey, this is what you put on the internet, this is what you put on the internet. I've talked about some of my business on the internet, so I'm not saying like, oh, I'm holier than thou, I've coped differently. No, sometimes it's okay to get it out. And no shade to therapists and stuff like that, but sometimes they don't work all the time. Like, I've gone through so many therapists because they don't understand me, they don't listen to me, they just think one thing and they do what they want to do, and they say, oh, I have a degree, so I know what I'm talking about. And then you be completely wrong, because you're not listening to me, you're just trying to diagnose me, or you're not listening to me, you're just trying to put medicine in my body. And psychologists and psychiatrists and therapists, there are good ones, there are great ones that actually care about you. So like I said, no tea, no shade, but some of them you have to actually go through a lot so you can get the one that matches for you perfectly. And that's how it is with coping. You have to go through different stages and different ways to cope until you find the right coping mechanism that works for you. And just because it works for you now, it doesn't mean it's going to work for you in 10 years. Maybe 3 years out of that time of using that coping skill, you have to find another one. And that is perfectly fine too. Like, too much of something is not always a good thing, even if it's supposed to be a good thing. And I know that's like, what? So why am I doing it? Because you're trying to see what best works for you with coping, so you don't numb yourself, and so you don't just one day have a mental breakdown, or you don't just one day lash out on the wrong person just because they were the straw that broke your back. You feel what I'm saying? So I think that coping is like completely like manageable, but you have to be willing. And then also, we have this thing in society where we have the strong friend And the strong friend is oftentimes the friend that goes through the most hardships because they have a lot of experience through trauma. And because they have a lot of experience through trauma, they're able to like talk to you or comfort you or express to you. And a lot of the times that's good. That's okay. Like, you need that person. They probably like to, you know, feel useful. But also that strong friend needs someone to cope to. I mean, not to cope to vent to in some positive way, to cope with things. Because just because they're not saying anything about it doesn't mean they're not going through it. I think as a society, we have to figure out a way to collectively come together and just check on everybody, and not check on them because you need $1. Not check on them because you need somebody to fix your brakes. Not check on them because you need somebody to watch your kids. Not checking on them because you need something from them, just because you genuinely care. Like, if I meet someone and we're having a conversation, honestly, I care about you off rip, because as a person, even if you're rude to me or unkind to me or nasty to me, or you think negative things about me, I still care about you because you breathe oxygen, you have a heartbeat, and I never want anything bad to happen to anyone except for those people. Y'all know who they are because if you watched previous videos, I've said the specific type of people that could just, you know, help the population decrease a little bit. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But on top of, and besides those people, I feel like everybody deserves love and everybody deserves care. And if someone's talking to me and they're either trying to get to know me or trying to date me or whatever the case is, I really don't care because I'm just kind to people in general. But I always speak kind words to them, give them motivation. And when they're telling me about themselves, I always give like a positive input, like, oh, okay, you're doing this, that's good. Well, I heard or I've read about this, and have you tried this, and have you done this, or you said you wanted to do this, have you gone through the steps? And I've given out resources, and they're like, wow, I never even thought about doing it this way, or yeah, I've actually taken the classes to do those things, but thank you for letting me know that because I didn't know about this part of the class, or something along the lines of, I'm always there to just be kind to people and help people, because you never know what people are numbing, you know? Like, what are they numbing? Like, I have to stop saying your mama and your daddy, like, when I'm joking, because like people will be like, ah, ha ha ha, da da da. I'd be like, your mama, because one time I did that, well, a couple times I did that, and so their parents were passed away. And it wasn't just like a long time ago, it was recently passed away. And so imagine like you're telling someone and you're just joking, you're genuinely like not meaning any harm, you didn't know that their parents passed away, but you just say that, and then they're like, now they're reliving that person's, you know, passing all over again, and that just sucks, you know what I'm saying? So you kind of gotta be mindful too of the things that you're saying and doing to people. And so now I switch my joke to, I know you are, but what am I? And I know that's so like childish and back in the day, but that's better than, you know, coming for someone, because you never know, like, this person could be going through something. Now, if you crack a joke on my mama, I'm cracking one at yours. Don't cross that threshold. If your mama is not here, or your daddy is not here, or whoever you're cracking a joke at my family is not here, because if you crack that joke on my family, I'm gonna crack that joke on your family. If you tell me after you crack the joke that that person is no longer here, think twice before you make that joke, love, because you started it. But anywho, other than that, having sympathy and care for yourself and others is really important. And some of the ways that I have positively numbed is like music, or writing in my journal, or, you know, and I wouldn't really say numb, I would just say coping. Coping with the fact when I notice that I'm numbing, like I'll notice that I'm numbing when my anxiety levels is high and I feel more irritated just by like people touching me or walking past me. If I'm irritated because you're walking past me and it's not ovulation cycle or period cycle, it's because I've been numbing and I have not noticed it, or I haven't taken the initiative to say, girl, you're not dealing with your emotions right now, you need to lock in. You know what I'm saying? So when I figure this out and I catch it right away, and I'm like, I need to center. I need to do something that's gonna help me clear my brain. So if that means I gotta clean up, or if that means I gotta go for a walk, heck, if that means I gotta rant to myself in the mirror, or to a video or 3 that's never gonna make it to the internet and just delete it, or something where I am making space for myself to get it out, that's what I'll do. And I think it's important for everyone to do that too. So next time, don't numb. Next time, just take a deep breath, understand what's going on. If you feel yourself numbing, if you see yourself going down that road of I'm starting to get irritated from a breeze of someone walking past me, take a deep breath, recognize that, go down the list of what's been going on for the past week or month or whatever, and then make a list either mentally or in paper about how you can calm yourself down for those ways that you've been feeling, bestie, because it's important. Hi besties, if you're watching this video, you made it to the end of my video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and follow me on all of my social media platforms. Bye.